automatically. The next thing is you start getting hooked on it, you put off, and then later on you start developing doubts, and from there the only thing you ever work towards is worldly, lustful, material gain, material desires. وَغَرَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. And then Allah says the ultimate deceiver, gharur is mubalagha. The incredible deceiver was successful in deceiving you. This is what the believers say to the munafiqun on the other side of the wall. This is an incredible scene, folks. They're standing by this wall in shock. Why aren't we on the other side? And now they're being reminded by their fellow believers on the other side. Well, remember that you did this, 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 and this. And this is a gift of Allah to you and to me. It's a gift of Allah that this, hideous scene has been painted on Judgment Day. Because I would rather know now than then. I'd rather not stand there and then find out shocked. Why am I on the wrong side of this wall? Why am I not on the other side? How come I don't have any light? How come I lost this thing that Allah had given me? Every one of you sitting here, every believer has light inside their heart. Allah has granted it to us. The problem is whether or not you and I want to hold on to it or not. So you and I have to identify where we are. Maybe we're the people that just started putting ourselves in a fitna situation. Maybe we just started getting ourselves caught up in the wrong thing. Or maybe we've been caught up for a while and we've been putting off letting it go. Maybe that's happened. Maybe we've even gone further down the road and now we've started developing doubts. Maybe that's how far we've gone. Maybe we've gone way down the road. غَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِيُّ حَتَّى جَاءَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ. Now all we live for is, toys and pleasures. That's all we live for now, is entertainment. That's what we've become. And so at the end of it all, nothing you earn, nothing I earn is worth anything on Judgment Day except that light. This is why when this passage began, Allah Azza wa Jal described it with light. And that light is the only thing that matters on Judgment Day. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى رَبَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The one who comes before Allah with a sound heart, the heart that can beam light in front of them. Anything else that you and I have, that we have now, is worthless. It's completely worthless before Allah on Judgment Day. You can enjoy it for now, but if you get caught up in it and it takes up the space in your heart, then you have no room left for light in your heart. You just don't have room left. Which is why the last ayah of this passage is فَالْيَوْمَ لَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْكُمْ فِدْيَةٌ وَلَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارُ هِيَ مَوْلَاكُمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. And today, there's not going to be any compensation, any ransom acceptable from you. Don't try to pawn it for anything else. There is no access into those doors. There's no getting through this door with any kind of penalty or payment. You can't get through. Not from you and not from those who've disbelieved. The scary part of this ayah is لَا يُخَذُ مِنْكُمْ فِدْيَةٌ وَلَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. You are now in the same position as those who disbelieved. You ended up being in the same position as those who disbelieved. I'm not going to take any ransom from you, and I'm not going to take any ransom from them. All of you, your place is fire. وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. What a terrible place to be that is. And so at the end of it all, after painting this scene, Allah concludes. And I'll conclude with this ayah as well. How is it that we can continue to preserve our light and continue to remind ourselves not to put ourselves in that downward spiral? And whatever little light we have, how can we make it stronger and stronger and stronger? Allah Azza wa Jal Himself says, أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Isn't it yet time that believers' hearts should become filled with awe, with the remembrance of Allah? Truly remembering Allah will bring awe into the hearts. And the more your hearts remember Allah, because Allah Himself is Nurus Samawati wal Ard, Allah is the light of the skies and the earth. The more Allah is in your heart, the more light is inside your heart. You understand? So He says, remember Allah. And then He says, how do you remember Allah? This is called Ataf Bayan in Arabic. وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ. And they should be filled with awe because of what came down from the truth. Because of the revelation, because of the Quran. Ponder over the Quran, remember Allah through the Quran. Weep when you recite the ayat of Quran. Think about what they mean to you, the gift that Allah has given you, because not only is Allah the light of the skies and the earth, the Quran itself is also described as light in the Quran. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. Believe in Allah and His Messenger and the light that we sent down. Quran itself is called light. Quran itself is called light. And so the amount of time you spend with the Book of Allah, for your own personal benefit, when you sit and recite it and ponder over it, and you think about what Allah, your Master, is saying to you, that is going to fill your heart with light. And there's no more, greater a treasure in your life than that light. And you won't realize the price of it, I won't realize the price of it until we stand on that day when everything around us is dark, and the only light is the light coming out of my chest, and the only light coming out of my hands. That's when we'll realize. وَلَا يَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِ فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. They shouldn't become like people who came a long time before them, who were given the book a long time before them. And a long period passed, and their hearts became hard. They had the book, but they didn't value it. It's possible, Allah says, that a nation will have a book. They will have the book of Allah. There were nations before us who had a book too. They had Tawrat, they had Injil, they had Suhuf Ibrahim and Musa. They had, but they didn't benefit from them. لَمْ يَنْتَفِعُوا مِنْهَا. They didn't benefit from those books. They didn't use those books to fill their hearts with light. Maybe they used those books for the wrong reasons. Maybe they reduced those books to just ceremonial occasions. They just enjoyed reciting it sometime every once in a while. That's all it became to them. Or maybe at some wedding gathering they can play some Quran, and that's all Quran became. But Quran was not there to soften their hearts anymore. And this is the tragedy of history. People did not benefit from the word of Allah that came to soften hearts, preparing humanity for standing before Allah on Judgment Day. That's our responsibility now. That's on you and that's on me. This is why وَلَا يَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِ فَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. So their hearts became hard. Their hearts became hard. When the heart becomes hard, there's no light inside left. It's not going to give you anything on Judgment Day. وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. Most of them are corrupt. Many of them are corrupt. Allah Azza wa Jal is now in these few ayat painting one of the most important realities, depicting one of the most important realities in the life of a believer. The iman you and I have is not something we can hold on to. This light that we have been given is not something that's guaranteed. It's not. Just because you have it now and you feel secure, if somebody says salam to you, means they're Muslim, you say wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, they're both Muslims, they're believers to each other. We assume that we all have the light of faith inside our hearts. But according to these ayat, some people will stand up on Judgment Day and be shocked, I thought I was with you, and you're not. So we better realize that it's not automatic. It's not guaranteed. It's something you personally will have to make efforts for. I personally will have to make efforts for. And your iman will not help me, and my iman will not help you on Judgment Day. We're all going to be caring about ourselves, our own light. Irji'u wara'akum faltamisu nura. Go back, find your own light. And right now we can cooperate with each other. And right now we can strengthen each other's iman. But on that day, there's not going to be any help. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who preserve the light in our hearts. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who are not on the wrong side of that wall. Protect us and our families and our loved ones from nifaq. May Allah keep our hearts from becoming hard. And may Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who continually internalize the word of Allah, allowing our hearts to soften and to be filled with light. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim.